Many men notice a confusing pattern when they begin dating someone new. At first, everything seems straightforward. There is attraction, conversation flows easily, and the interaction feels natural. But then, something unusual happens. The woman may suddenly question something he says. She might challenge his opinion. Sometimes she even becomes slightly distant or unpredictable. And many men interpret this moment as a problem. They assume they must have done something wrong. But in many situations, this behavior is not necessarily about conflict. It can be part of how people naturally evaluate emotional stability in early attraction. In the early stages of dating, both people are learning about each other. They are not only deciding whether they feel attraction, they are also observing how the other person responds to uncertainty. For many women, emotional stability is one of the most important signals when evaluating a potential partner. This does not mean they are consciously running a test. But small moments of disagreement or unpredictability can reveal how someone reacts under pressure. For example, imagine a situation where a woman challenges a man's opinion during a conversation. If the man suddenly becomes defensive, frustrated, or overly eager to prove himself right, the emotional atmosphere can shift. But if he responds calmly, keeps his perspective, and remains relaxed, the interaction often feels very different. The conversation stays balanced. Neither person feels the need to dominate the interaction, and that emotional stability can make the interaction feel more secure. Another example happens when communication patterns change. Sometimes a woman might respond more slowly to messages, or she may not initiate conversations as frequently for a short period of time. Many men immediately interpret this as loss of interest. Their instinct is to restore the connection quickly. They send more messages. They try to increase attention. But sometimes, this reaction reveals something about emotional dependence. When someone reacts with urgency every time the interaction changes slightly, it can create the impression that the relationship must always feel stable in order for them to feel comfortable. On the other hand, when someone maintains their own rhythm and emotional balance, the interaction often remains much lighter. This does not mean ignoring the relationship. It simply means that attraction often grows best when both people maintain stability in their own lives. In many healthy relationships, early dating includes small moments where both people observe each other's reactions, how someone handles disagreement, how they respond when plans change, how they behave when things feel slightly uncertain. These moments are not necessarily deliberate tests. They are simply natural situations where emotional patterns become visible. The key point is that attraction tends to respond strongly to emotional stability, not perfection, not constant reassurance, but stability. When someone feels comfortable with themselves and their own direction in life, interactions tend to feel relaxed and natural. There is no need to constantly manage the connection, and that relaxed dynamic often allows attraction to develop more naturally over time. This is why many relationship dynamics improve when people focus less on trying to control attraction and more on maintaining their own emotional balance. The goal is not to pass a test. The goal is simply to remain grounded in who you are. And when that stability is present, attraction often becomes much easier to sustain. If you're interested in understanding more about the psychology behind attraction and relationship dynamics, there are additional resources linked below that explore these patterns in more depth.